Morning, sirs and ma'ams. Out here again today, just working. It's gonna be another prepper video. Are you ready? Do you have the stuff that you need? And along with that, is the stuff that you have, is it ready? Are you ready? Because there's always stuff going on in this country to where it's a good idea to have extra supplies set to the side, ready for if something happens. Now, today is November 1st, 2017. This supposed day of rage is supposed to be happening on November 4th. So we're just a few days out from seeing if it was a real thing or not. But whether it's a real thing or not, are you prepared for if it becomes a real thing? Do you have extra food and water and stuff set to the side? Because if there's a bunch of chaos going on out in the streets, it may not be a good idea for you to leave the house and go out to the streets trying to get to a grocery store, where along the way your vehicle may be stopped, they may be blocking roads, groups may be pulling people out of cars, may try to stop you and rob you to see what you got. So it may be better for you to just stay at home. So if you do have to stay at home, do you have an extended food supply? Do you have stored water? If that runs out, do you have a way to purify or filter more water? All things to think about. And then as far as security goes, a lot of people out there have guns and ammo, but are they ready? Think about it right now. If you had to drop what you were doing and grab a gun to do something, can you do that? Is it on you? Is it within arm's reach of you? Is it loaded? Then there's a big debate on, is there one in the chamber? Because a lot of people I've heard, they say, like there's one guy on the radio around here says, I am a gun owner. I am pro Second Amendment. And somebody else on the radio show will tell him, I don't think you're safe with that. He goes, now it is safe. He goes, it's unloaded and it's in a safe, and there's only one key that I have on my keychain, and I sleep with my keys. Well, if your gun is not loaded, you're not going to have time to load it if something happens. I know of somebody that used to do that, and I never understood it. They kept the gun in the safe with the magazine out of it and no rounds in the magazine. They kept the ammo next to the magazine. Now I thought, if something happens and you need that, you then have to get out of bed or leave the living room, wherever you happen to be, go to where the safe is, put in your combination or a key to open the safe. Then you have to grab the ammo, load it into the magazine, load the magazine into the gun, rack the slide, before you're able to do a single thing. And you may think, okay, I can load the magazine in there and rack the slide real quick, but I keep it in my safe. How well are you going to be able to get into that safe? Because you can practice, practice, and get smooth with it. That's a good thing. But keep in mind that in the situation, if it pops up and you have to get into that safe really quick, your adrenaline's going to be pumping. Because obviously something is happening to where your first thought is, I need that gun now. So when you go to get into that safe, if you're typing in your code or you're trying to put in a key, your hands are going to be shaking, your brain is going to be a little foggy, because you're going to be thinking constantly, you're going to be thinking about the thing happening, and you're not going to be fully focused on those numbers. Or your hands are going to be shaking when you're trying to get that key, or you're trying to find the key. There's going to be a lot of pressure, and it's going to probably take a little extra time. And then even if you have one and it's within reach, say you're carrying it, magazines in and everything, if there's not one in the chamber, that's not a loaded weapon, because you now have to rack that slide. And it's easy in the moment. If you see, if you actually go and do a training class or train with somebody, or even if you're just out shooting for fun, you'll see people raise up, oh, I forgot to take the safety off. There's little things like that that will just kind of fall out of your brain if you don't practice it. So you'll leave the safety on, or if there's nothing in the chamber, you'll raise up and click, crap. And there was one instructor I watched on, you can find him on YouTube, I think he was from the 6 Hour Academy, did a video on one in the chamber versus an empty chamber. The actual time that it takes in a controlled environment. He started up the timer, it beeped, he drew out, boom. Said, okay, that took half a second. He goes, now we're going to leave it with an empty chamber, and we're going to try this again. Timer went off, beep, drew out, racked the slide, got on target, boom. Took like a second and a half, 1.8 seconds, somewhere around there. And that is a very valuable bit of time that could be the difference between life and death. It can happen that fast. So, whatever you decide to do, that is your choice. Just make sure you train and you are familiar and you are speedy and efficient with whatever you decide to do. Because you want to be ready and quick if something happens. Because you don't get to choose when something happens. If a situation pops up, that's when the go bell rings. There's no ready, set, go. Now you're just doing something, all of a sudden it's go. And then you're scrambling to do what you need to do. So make sure you've got everything you need together, just for any situation, because there's always something going on where you may need some extra things around. Because say this November 4th thing doesn't happen, well, we've still got this North Korea deal hanging over our heads. They may get it resolved without any actions. But then again, things may go south very, very, very quickly. So, and then at that point, you're not going to have the option to go out and really get anything together, because you're going to be fighting the masses. Because if it's a spot where you think, crap, I need to get to the grocery store right now, I need to get stuff together. Well, that's the same thought that millions of other people are having at that exact same moment. So you're going to have to fight the masses to get what you need. Think of it as Black Friday, but instead of trying to get stuff that's cool or what you want for a good deal, it's an emergency situation and people are trying to save their own butt. They're not going to think twice about doing something to you to save them. So get your stuff together now, that way you don't have to be in that situation where you have to fight other people for limited resources. A lot of people have this mentality to where they think, oh, well, people are good. They'll be good to each other. When something happens, we'll come together and we'll take care of each other. Nope, don't count on that. If it's a bad situation, people look out for themselves and themselves only. There may be a few in there that may say, you know what, I've got enough here. How about you take some of this and I'll help you out. You can take these canned goods. You can take, we'll split this. There may be a few out there, because there are some good people. But I would say on the mass scale, people look out for themselves first. So if they see a whole shelf full of stuff, guess what they're going to try to grab? They're going to try to grab that entire shelf worth of stuff. Seeing you standing there waiting your turn, they're going to go, screw you, I'm taking this. A lot of people are greedy. A lot of people are greedy under good scenarios, good times. But when it comes down to bad, it'll get worse. So put yourself in a good spot where you don't have to worry about any of that. And as far as the North Korea deal goes, it's easy to fall into that mindset of, well, there's nothing I can do about that. If they decide to launch something over here, I'm just screwed because I don't have a bunker. My house won't withstand a blast like that. There's radiation. There's just nothing I can do. Well, it doesn't hurt to try. So I'll follow up this video with another one on one little helpful measure you can take to try to better prepare yourself for it. I'm gonna get on back to work right now. So get your stuff together. Y'all be good. Be safe.